CBS 6 are working to raise awareness about heart health in partnership with the American Heart Association. October is Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month. It's a leading cause of death in the U.S., taking more than 356,000 lives, and that includes 23,000 youth under 18. Here to provide some crucial information that could save your life is Matt Siebert with the AHA. Matt, thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate it.
So, sudden cardiac arrest, distinct from a heart attack. Tell me about the difference.
So the difference is actually in the words. Cardiac arrest means to stand still or stop, and heart attack means that there's some kind of injury or insult that's occurring. So a heart attack often precludes sudden cardiac arrest and is the time where action really needs to be taken in alerting, contacting emergency medical services, or consulting with some kind of physician.
Well, and sudden cardiac arrest means a lot to you personally.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So when I was in the 7th grade, I was actually involved in a gym accident. A very good friend of mine, very unintentionally, passed a basketball at my chest so hard that it caused my heart to stop. I came to with my coach doing CPR on me, resuscitating me. And that is sort of what kicked off my life in trying to bring this to others, to make sure that others might experience the joy of a second chance at life.
And you've also had episodes involving family members.
That's correct. But the younger of my twins came home from the NICU with a heart monitor, and I had to go in and oftentimes stimulate her in order to restart her heart. And my youngest daughter, when she was 9 months old, suffered 4 simultaneous strokes that paralyzed the left side of her body one day when taking a nap. And she woke up, smiled with the right side of her face, kicked with her right leg, reached out with her right arm, and my life changed immediately after that.
And has that required constant monitoring and therapies to ameliorate?
Joyously, both of them are now fully grown and are out on their own with no deficits that you would be able to perceive.
That is amazing. That is such a wonderful outcome. But of course, it makes the work of the American Heart Association and folks like you all that much more important. Tell me, what would you like to see? I know AEDs are so important.
Right.
Tell me, what can we do to make outcomes better?
So the biggest thing is to enable people to take action. And a lot of times taking action requires someone to just have information. So one of the things that the Heart Association loves to do is go into communities and really expound upon how easy it is to do CPR, the simple steps that can save someone's life, the way that you can actually engage and take that step forward in time of an emergency.
And have an AED available? Is that how important is that?
An AED is very often available, very available now in the environment that we live in, especially in very public areas such as grocery stores, shopping centers. And Henrico County, for example, has been rolling them out into the public spaces. So you can find AEDs in parks or at high schools out on the field. Early defibrillation in conjunction with that early response of CPR and the action and the alerting of the emergency medical services leads towards a much better outcome. And the AHA actually has a goal by 2030 to double the surviving rate from a cardiac arrest. So we are very much in tune to that.
All right, we are out of time. Matt Siebert, volunteer with the American Heart Association. Thank you so much for your good work.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it.
Compelling story. And in the meantime, our Maggie Marshall is among a group of leaders who are shining a light on the importance of heart health. Maggie has partnered with the Central Virginia American Heart Association as a leader of impact. Maggie and other leaders are raising money over the next few weeks to go towards research and education about heart health. You can donate right now and all the way until December 4th. Donate early and often to her campaign by scanning the QR code that you see right there on the screen. You can also find that and a link to donate to Maggie's campaign on our website, WTVR.com. Go Maggie.